All right, so we are still on quartiles, and we are here to solve another example. So we have two data sets here. One is even data, and the other one is odd data. We are about to start with the even data, and we go to the odd data so that we can know the difference between the two of them. So let's start with the even data. At first, let's count our data set first. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've confirmed that it's an even data. So we will first arrange our data set in ascending order. You can choose to arrange it in the descending order. So let's start from the lowest value to the highest value. So the lowest value is 15, 16, 18, 20, 21, 22, 22, and then 24. Okay, so let's confirm our data set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so when you get a data set like this, you have to divide the data set into two so that you get the first half and the second half before you can solve for the quartiles. So here we have 8 data sets. So you count by taking from the left side and the right side. And then you get the two middle number and divide that two middle number into two so that you can get the first half and the second half. So let's start. We have 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So the 20 and 21 becomes our middle number. So you draw a middle line in between the two, not here. So middle line like this. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 at the left side, 1, 2, 3, 4 at the right side. All right, so when you get the data set, you draw a middle line like this. Then from here to this side becomes the lower half or the first half, and from here to this side becomes the second half or the upper half. So in the lower half, you have 15, 16, 18, 20. And then in the upper half, you have 21, 22, then another 22, and 24. So our to find our Q0, it simply means the lowest number in the data set. The lowest number here is 15. And then we can also find our Q4, which is the highest number, and then it is 24. Then another thing that we can easily find is the median, which is the Q2. So the middle number in the data set here is 20 and 21. So the Q2 will become 20 plus 21 divided by 2, which will give us 41 divided by 2 is 20.5. So our Q2, which is the same as the median, is 20.5. So now we can calculate for so now we can do the analysis for our Q3 and then Q1. So let's do the Q1 first, then the Q3. So we said that from this part, from the middle to the left part, becomes our lower half or the first half. So to get the Q1, you calculate for median for only the first half or the lower half. So you get 1, 2, 3. And okay, so the Q1 is the median of the first half. So for the first half, we have 15, 16, 18, and 20. So you calculate for the median for these four values. The median will be between the 16 and the 18. So it will be 16 plus 18 divided by 2, which is 34 divided by 2. And this will give us 17. So the median for the first half or the Q1 is 17. So we do same for the second half to calculate for our Q3. So the values for the Q3 is 21, 22, 25, then 24. So the two numbers in the middle is 22 and 22. So the Q3 becomes 22 plus 22 divided by 2, which will give us 44 divided by 2, the same 22. All right. So from this part, you know that we said to calculate for the Q1, you get the median of the first half, which is falls between the 16 and 18. So you find the average of the first, 16 and 18, and you got 17. That is your Q1. And then Q3 is the median of the second half. That is, it falls between the 22 and then another 22. The average of 22 and 22 give us 22. That's the median of the second half, which is the Q3. All right, let's move to the odd data. So the odd data too. All right, so the odd data too, the first principle still remains. When you get the data, you arrange it in either ascending or descending order. So let's arrange our data. 2, 5, 8, 10, then 34. And for to calculate for the quartiles, you know that the Q0, which is the lowest number in our data set. So from our data set, we know that 2 is the lowest number. Hence, it becomes our Q0. And then our Q4. Our Q4 is the highest number in our data set. And here it becomes 34. Then let's go to our Q2, the median. And for finding a median in an odd data, mostly it falls between a single number in the middle when the data set is arranged in either ascending or descending order. And we've already arranged this data set in ascending order. So you get one here, one here, one here, one here, and the single number remaining in the middle is 8. Hence our Q2 becomes 8. And to calculate for the Q1 and the Q3 is odd data. It's different way. At this point, we are not including the middle number, so you can cancel it from your data set so that you get two values here and then another two values here to calculate for your Q1 and Q3. So this at this point, this part becomes our lower half, and this one becomes our upper half. So the Q1, which is the median of the lower half, becomes 2 plus 5 divided by 2, which is 7 over 2. It's 3.5. And then calculating for Q3, which is the median of the upper half. And here we have 10 and 34. The median of 10, the upper half will be 10 plus 34 divided by 2, which is 44 divided by 2. It's going to give us 22. So from here, you know that the median of the upper half is 22, which is the same as our Q3. To summarize everything on the odd data, we said that when you get the data first, confirm that it is odd, and then arrange the data in ascending order or descending order. And the least number or the least value in the data set becomes your Q0, and then the highest value becomes your Q4. And then when you get an odd data, it is easy to determine the Q2 because it is a single number in the data set when it is arranged in either ascending or descending order. The middle single number. And then the Q1 becomes the median of the lower half. So you cancel out the median of the data set you got, which is the Q2. When you cancel it out, it will left it a data set on the left hand side and the right hand side. The one here becomes your lower half, and the Q1 becomes the median of the lower half, which is 2 plus 5, all divided by 2, and we got 3.5. And the median of the, all right, and then for the upper half two, we have another two numbers here. And the principle in calculating for median is that when you have two numbers, the median is the average of those two numbers. So we have 10 and 34. Then the median becomes the average of 10 and 34. That's why we added 10 and 34 and divided it by 2. And we got 22. All right. Thank you very much.